Hiya, and welcome back to Genshin Impact. Ladies and gentlemen, if you missed the stream, we did some polls, we tested out Thoma, but I still wanted to make a video and just kind of talk about the things I've been hearing around in the community, which before Thoma ever came out, we actually got to hear from people saying, which I think were people in the beta, I think when you ever hear mass consensus of a character's decision without any sort of real thing to point to, it tends to be beta people said he's shit, which is a thing I think. Regardless, people were criticizing him for a vast variety of things, essentially saying that people said that he was a Shincho-alike character, and he turned out to not really be that way. If anything, he turned out to have some parts of Ball and some parts of shielding characters like Xinyan, and not Shincho. But people, including myself, were like, well, wait, here are the things that I'm falling back on still. Okay. The thing that I found back on still is he's a future pickup. So if they ever release a mass-hitting cryo or water character, Tartaglia doesn't really work because he hits fast. And he doesn't scale up and hit slowly or just hits hard with one attack, besides his ult. And Thoma's just, he benefits from massive application of a fire dot, not fire damage, okay? So he's basically just going to help you reaction chain vaporize, melt if Dendro ends up being huge and it just 10x's the damage despite the non-damage going in. Well, maybe, who knows, or the Dendro hard-hitting character that detonates, maybe that will count. Anyway, also, we could potentially have like an artifact set that comes out in the future that makes him godly. Oh, I just drank my coffee. Oh, I tried to shake it off as I talked. it just overpowered me. But right now, as Thoma is, the one thing that he can be, kind of, sort of, there are other options, but you could choose him if they haven't gotten them in the banners. One of the characters in his banner does what he does, except really well. Anyways, Thoma is a shielder. And everyone kind of suspected this because of just how his two abilities mainly work with shielding. But there are characters that do shielding and, of course, something else to a sufficient degree to where people were like, okay, you know, he's probably going to have both. Well, come to find out, he is only really the two things. The two things that Thoma is and does put him into a utility position if they ever upload a character that can hit hard with water or something like that. Ayaka does not really play because she hits thousands of times with her ult. You want to hit something once really hard, or not once, but like very within a 2-second duration essentially. But the two things Thoma is a shielder and a pyro dot applier, so that you can detonate with an element that is valuable or can deal damage or can provide a nice bonus. Maybe double X's your health regeneration or something. I don't know. Whatever Dendro will do in the future, we don't know, but we'll see. But what I do know it's also this. If you happen to have, I don't know, a Diona who shields the shit out of you and is really easy to build, super easy to build, and the healing that you gain for building HP and the healing that you gain from building HP with her shield strength is insane. And with constellations you get 200 mastery, elemental mastery, to let the process of detonation happen way better. Yeah. Here's another thing. If another person who's on Thoma's banner, you cheery little boy, another person that's on his banner is Sayu. My dudes, I keep hearing so often that Sayu sucks ass. She does not. People are crazy. Jeez Louise. Anyways, Sayu can heal the shit out of you and also simultaneously deal damage or activate a swirl, kind of like as a swirl detonation cost. So similar to Thoma, how he's supposed to mass apply a swirl or detonate or swirl the elements, she can kind of do that. Or her ult can kind of do that. Regardless, the other thing that's great about Sayu is when you do any swirl, so if you throw out your ult and you switch to another character, you're passively healing like a lot, and also whenever you do anything like that, you're also regenerating particles for your whole team. They happen to be animo, but they still are valuable to any other person who doesn't have their ult yet, so she's kind of a weird battery as well. So Sayu heals the Chetchu. She's kind of a weird battery. She also is just one of the best traversal characters in the game. Sure, why not? But then the third thing is that she weakens the shit out of people, which can make you do so much more damage. The little poof that Thoma does is eclipsed by not only all of the things that Sayu can do, but also the Viridescent set, baby. First of all, it just gives you 60% bonus damage, baby. Woof. I don't know what Jesus. Anyways, but also it decreases opponents' elemental resistance by 40%. What? It lasts for 10 seconds. That's a long time. Like a long time. Also, here's the thing. This is not selfish. Unlike Venti's and somehow Kazuha less, because his ult just, well, I guess both of them can kind of get by. But point being, is that Sayu's little tiny guy does not infuse himself with an element. So, all you need to do is apply an element, and then his thing hit that enemy, swirling the fire around them, and then him hitting the other enemies, and then that swirls and infuses. That basically it's just, you can have multiple elements going. A lot of times you'll accidentally infuse Venti's swirl with an element that you're not trying to make them weaker to, like your main DPSs, for that instance, Hu Tao if you're playing fire. But this instance, as long as your little teddy bear hits them and you're mass applying that element, you're going to be able to profit immensely, which is why Sayu is also fantastic. And again, Sayu heals the shit out of you off field, on field. She also can, in some ways, deal damage when you use her E. Also, she can heal everybody no matter where they are on the field. So she's huge. Sayu is amazing, providing tons of value and also a lot of value every single step of the way. Same with Diona again, but Diona is more of a known person where like you just invest, you put her on like the most basic artifact set with HP, and you're fine. You're gonna get the most out. You're gonna be unkillable. You're gonna be able to heal your damage, and if you have a lot of constellations, she's gonna get better at that, and also give you 200 elemental mastery when you get to their final one. Although I think people are missing is that people forget what her final thing says, which is you need to be below 50% or above 50% health in order to gain the elemental mastery bonus. Which if you're playing Hu Tao, you're not going to be able to deal with that, or at least you're going to be incentivized to not be below or above 50% health, even without Staff of Homa. I digress. But, so she doesn't really work with her. She still kind of works with her. You just don't want to, you just not use the ult, I guess, and just use the insanely good shield. Or use Sayu again and just heal. Sayu would overheal. Never mind, bad idea. Sayu would heal the Shetcha too much. But anyways, this is not a video about Sayu. I desperately want to make a video about that. But this is a video about good old Thoma. So now, the funniest, cruelest, horrific joke that exists with Thoma is that I think, again, everything, unless MiHoYo is just like, let's just make shit characters. I have a tendency to think that MiHoYo is waiting for like artifact sets that are going to unravel these characters, kind of like the energy recharge one for Mona and such. But I digress. One of the funniest things, and cruel jokes, is that Thoma's best weapon, because his DPS variant, if you're planning on building Thoma for DPS, it is rough. At best, with like the best artifacts, the best scaling you can possibly get, I've seen his little poof hit for 4 to 8 to maybe 10k. And that is with like max investment weapons, like max refined, the Staff of Homa, which has one of the best scalings in the game. He was low health. He was constantly having melt and water applied to characters so that he could detonate the vaporize. So the 10k was really just a vaporize hit. And with any other character with hitting with vaporize, it's basically just a bad call at the time of recording to build him as a support DPS kind of thing. Again, seemingly he's only to apply a fire dot and then have somebody detonate it with water or a cryo, because they reverse melt or vaporize. But this, my dudes, the black tassel. The black tassel that scales up your HP by a whole mess of a lot. This apparently is the play, because Thoma is functionally, again, you cannot deal damage with Thoma. The fire is only there to be a dot, so then that leads his primary best build to be a shielder. But the thing with Thoma's shield that's really shitty is, unlike Diona's, which is basically on a 100% uptime and providing particles and is just better in every conceivable way. Instead, using his weird, like, use your E and then use your ult to supercharge or stack your shields, is awful because in order to make the shields dense enough, you have to hyperstack HP. And when you hyperstack HP, that means you cannot hyperstack energy recharge. Or crit rate, critical damage. It might honestly just be worth it completely forgetting entirely about any other stat besides energy recharge and HP. Anything else is trash. But the shield and all that stuff is, you can get Diona, who will heal the shit at you and get a great shield and deal some damage. Anyways, so that's the problem, is that basically when you'll find in rotations that you don't have his ult, or you don't have his ult or shield, his E's on a fucking long ass cooldown, and it sucks because in the beta, your boy's privy to some leaks every now and again, all the time honestly, but this, where is it? This skill. This, or maybe it was this, maybe it was even this, whatever, I think it might have been the energy one. Regardless, there was one of these that basically just kept providing, so they didn't nerf it. At the last minute, for, I don't know why, they decided to put like a 20 seconds only, okay, despite that would incentivize you baiting out your shield so that it could constantly keep refreshing. I don't know. Also, it'd incentivize you in taking damage. I don't know. Regardless, we also have this one, which gives you energy. But I don't know, man. It still doesn't feel like it's... I've seen videos where this does not fix this problem, where you're like, I don't have enough energy. Shit. And yeah, the only thing I think might be the solution is to pace out greatly your rotation area hitting. Essentially, which is, it's a lot. But let's go over here into this domain and mess around. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to hear from you. How are you feeling? Honestly, I feel like he might be if I'm being copium, he might be a character that like later down the line, when they release that like waifu or husbando that's just cracking shit with an ice claymore or something, in not Eula's way, then you're gonna be like, holy fucking shit, it all came together. But with the speculation about what's to come in the future, I have a feeling that they will just put Thoma on the banner with the character, because we know what's to come within the coming days, weeks, months, all that. So, copium. Anyways, regardless, again, if you needed a shielder, he's a great character. If you don't have a Zhongli, if you don't have a Diona, he's on his banner, so you think you'd get Diona. Anyways, if you don't have Diona, fucking get him. Get him, yeah, sure, he's good, he's a shielder. And he's honestly, if you're not trying to get the most out of him, he's an easy character to build. I think looking back on this, if I put myself in a future context, I could see that, where people are like, well, Thoma's actually like really easy to build. You throw him, give him this 4-star weapon, give him HP, nothing else really matters, and you'll be able to survive like a wave of damage coming back at you. I don't think it means you don't need a Bennett. I think it still does. And also, he has the positive, but at least right now, it's a negative, that he hyper applies pyro, and he'll snatch the elemental reaction to most characters. Now, the question lies: well, is there any character that really works with Thoma in the game right now? Not really. The one that kind of works a little bit, but also not really, and it kind of just makes things a little more messy, just because of the way that he applies pyro is in like this forced poof, like a flamethrower burst of pyro, that I find it kicks enemies up into the air, whereas for whatever reason Xiangling's like spinning little disc doesn't. I don't know why that is the way it is, but I think it's because it's technically sometimes higher, whereas Thoma's comes from the bottom, concussing them up. Xiangling's hits them chest to a head position and knocks them downwards, which is nice. But anyways, here's Thoma, baby. Let's do this. Boom, a kick. And now, we still don't have enough particles. This is what you're gonna face the whole time, baby. We're gonna hit this, and then we're gonna go suck up those particles, Thoma. It's still not enough. You gluttonous fiend, you. Oh, he's like, I'll protect you, but on my own goddamn time, alright? Boom. Okay, so now we finally have our thing. Again, he kind of works with the Raiden Shogun, because she just kind of does a lot of electro damage and the overload proc, and she usually detonates the overload proc. But you guys can see we're hitting for like 2k. It's 2k, you know. About what do you expect, honestly. But yeah, again, mostly using Bennett and such. As far as like reverse vaporize business, nope. Simply put, no, not quite, not it. And again, his shield is good, but it's nowhere near Diona, man. If you build Diona, it's not even a competition. Not only that, but also, Diona heals the statue, so it's like it's okay if you get hit. Yeah, like you can do both. You heal or you're topped off, and you're getting damage resistance with just the shield. Frankly, max damage resistance. So. You know, just one of those things. So yeah, Thoma, you could see, we had so much opportunity to play with him, right? As far as my Thoma, I'm giving him this weapon because this is what I just leveled up, and I was like, it makes sense that this one would be good. Oh wait, DPS is just not even an option. Okay, shit. I already have Zhongli. Shit. I just made Diona. Why'd I wish so much? Hey guys, thanks for just, just yeah. You're the best. Appreciate you. Again, there are people that are going to love Thoma. I think his look is beyond sick. He looks rad. He's a nice dude, good bro dude, trying to take care of you. It's not his fault that the gods just shit on him, aka Mihoyo. Yeah. I don't know. Again, who knows? Maybe they'll release some sort of husbando or waifu in the future that it just like resonates perfectly. Their domain will be Thoma's best artifact set, and then they'll just. But as far as things are right now, Thoma feels like a little bit like he doesn't have a weapon for him. He does not have like an HP scaling support weapon, really. He doesn't have like the right artifact sets really to make him speak. Besides like the casual Noblesse Oblige. But again, you need to build such high HP or invest this shit in like a crazy amount into his talents, so that you can basically get more out of less, which is the thing, I guess. You know what's the worst about all this though? Let me show you guys. Okay, okay, his melee attack is so sick, and it flies out so fast, and it has one of the lowest like interruption delays ever. Check this out. So first of all, it's just amazing, quick as hell. Boom, he like does a backflip as he throws a spear over his right shoulder or underneath his right hip. Amazing, foosh. And also, look at that attack delay. Boom, feeds right back into itself. Just jumps in, eager as hell. I think, what do you call it? The Raiden Shogun. Now, right, everyone the spear users just fucking feed into each other perfectly. That's just the thing with spear users. But there's still a lot to be desired for them. Anyways, but yeah, this final attack that Thoma actually can hit. I found knocked, okay, not these enemies, but knocked like every other enemy back heavily, like that. Maybe that's just everyone's thing, and I'm trying to find anything, any sort of like, okay, maybe it's not, maybe it's okay, maybe everything's gonna be okay. Also, man, it's just rough. Oh, also, I got sacrificial soul, baby. Look at this, look at this. We're getting lit up. Doing that, we'll do this. Again, it's just better for you to play. It'd be better for me to, instead of like trying to queue up my shield, literally just playing Bennett and like gaining particles so that I can back-to-back as alt and just be fine. Or using Diona and you being much better off. And you providing healing and yeah. Also, Diona, hey, guess what? Diona also mass applies cryo, except she does it on a 2-second window. What happened? I don't know, man. I think Mihoyo is trying to like balance their game, but it just makes it so that the old characters are like the best, but they're also not interesting because most people have the old characters, or a good bit of people have the old characters, at least I think. So that makes it just basically means that people aren't excited for new characters because they're gonna be shit. And guess what? You gotta wait till they bring back your ideal character on the next future banner. It just seems weird. Again, it's so strange how Mihoyo picks and chooses again, Thoma reminds me so much of Yoimiya. That's not a good thing. Reminds me so much of the Yoimiya situation where there is Sayus that do 15 things really well. There's Diona that do 15 things really well. There's Ball that does a bunch of things really well. That's a recent character. Same with Sayu. There's a lot of characters that do a lot of things pretty goddamn efficiently, and then it's just like, are these characters being designed by separate teams, and like one person's like, let's just crank them up a little bit and hopefully it gets through, or what? I don't know, man. Because yeah, it just feels like Thoma is just in a weird state. As far as my Thoma, he's not perfect at all. Again, I still am trying to because I don't need any more protection. That's the thing. Like with all of my teams, Bennett takes care of me. I have Bennett fucking juiced. so I don't need extra shielding. So my build is basically like, just any damage, please. And I was really hoping to replace Shangling with him, but no. Definitely not huge. Also, this artifact set does nothing for him. Apparently, his weird best artifact set is Energy Recharge and what is it called? Noblesse Oblige. Honestly, Noblesse Oblige just seems like the place to invest in him in. But ladies and gentlemen, copium and sorrow aside, if you got Thoma, I have one farewell thing to say to you, and that is that, again, he's a character that, if I'm not mistaken, will become more valuable as time goes on. The counter to that is we know a lot of banners to come. Not a lot of them are that specific character type. So after all of them, you would think that they would upload another banner and Thoma would just be on that one. Anyways, but for people who wanted to play with him early, here we go. But ladies and gentlemen, I always like to make these videos, by the way. I should mention this, by the way. A lot of the content is shifting, changing a little bit on the channel. Actually, a lot, frankly, more than it's ever have in years that I've been doing this. But I don't want to replace these videos because honestly, they're just for me a little bit. Like, as much as I love our streams. Our streams have very much replaced these kinds of videos, if you're wondering. But in the streams, I get to interact with you guys, which is worth its weight in gold to me, especially considering it's a fun back and forth, at least I find. But I still like these. This is, it's weird, Nick. I kind of try to emulate it as much as I can on streams, and it kind of ends up being, in some cases, more, and in other cases, less. This idea of, like, sitting... I don't know, man, it always used to make me happy when you playing video games right beside your friends, or when you would come to school the next day or come to work or whatever and talk to your buddies about E3 or upcoming games or what you're thinking about the current zeitgeist of Genshin Impact. So yeah, to me this has been that like charming thing that I want to keep within our community, is this like just we're playing a video game together. I want to talk to you guys about it. In fact, I think I might title this video, I wanted to talk to you about Thoma, because it's true. It's exactly what I would say to my friends when I seen them at school the next day, to be like, hey, what the fuck? What, am I fucking up? Am I building wrong? I looked into it, and it seems like this is not the way. Seems like this is the only way. Turns out, that only way, I'm covered. I've got Zhongli's, I got Diona's, I got everything. But the fucking things. But, if you happen to not have everything, then yes, Thoma is a decent pickup. And again, the only thing I always continue to say is, what's the scaling with the characters? Why is some characters can do 15 things really, really well, and other characters do one thing kind of okay, but not worth the other character doing 3 other things amazingly well, if not equal or better than what they did? Okay, unless again MiHoYo knows something that we don't, which would be the only thing that makes this make sense. Which is, again, we could have something in the future that comes out that makes some stuff crazy. How I feel generally about Thoma, I think he's cool. I like his character design a lot. I think that I already have too many of him on my team to warrant building him anymore. I already have too many shielders, and until like I already have invested enough to where if they did release like an awesome waifu cryo character that hit hard with a claymore or something, or a hammer, who knows, I'd be like, oh, okay, and then I would just send him a little bit more, but he's kind of already there for me to see what the hell's happening. But at the base, he's a very good shielder, and he can apply a cryo dot, like the element, not the damage, so to speak. But I digress, ladies and gentlemen. Hopefully you guys do enjoy the rest of your day. Thank you so much for giving me a single second of your time. And let me know if there is an angle for Thoma that I'm missing, although the consensus that I've seen is that he is a shielder that can apply cryo. I keep saying cryo, I mean pyro. Sorry, pyro. And that's it. I'm not sure if, again, if you need that, dope. If you don't, the good news is that, Sayu and Diona, some of the most tried and tested units in the game that do so many things well, are there. So, at least there's that. Good luck. Don't mean to be downer. Hopefully I can see you on the stream. Please talk me up and tell me if I'm off about Thoma on the streams or in this video. But ladies and gentlemen, thank you kindly for your time, and goodbye.